it's time for episode 2! Hello everyone and welcome back to the Film Feast. I'm Sam Donches, I'm your host, and it's so great to have you back. The first episode was pretty rough, I'm well aware of that, but I'm really trying to hit the ground running with this thing. The appetizer just aired the other day, and now I'm already recording this. I'm tired as shit, but I'm really trying to push the amount of content I'm putting out there. I decided just before I started recording this episode that I was going to allocate all television news to a different show, and that show will be called TV Dinner. And I know what you're thinking, wow, you're already making another show? Well, that's kind of the plan because I'm trying to make a variety channel on YouTube, and with that will come a lot of different content in very different forms. The Film Feast is its own thing. The appetizer is its own thing. TV Dinner will also be its own thing, and then there will be more and more and more and more and more until you just can't stand looking at my face anymore. Now, getting into the film news, I have to mention this outright. It's not something that I'm very happy to talk about. In fact, it's something that I'm a little heartbroken about. But this past Sunday, Philip Seymour Hoffman passed away. It has been an absolute gut punch to the acting and filmmaking community alike. And ever since last Sunday, I've been trying to imagine a world without Philip Seymour Hoffman, trying to cope, but I just can't do it. It's just so impossible to think about, years going by without Philip Seymour Hoffman popping up in a movie here and there. It's incredibly sad. That being said, Mr. Hoffman, you will be greatly missed by me and millions of others who have loved and appreciated your work over the past several years. Now, on a much lighter note, the rest of the week in film news. This past Monday, Warner Brothers announced that they are already working on the sequel to the Lego Movie, which doesn't surprise me at all. It's, a big business, knowing that they've got a great property on their hands and just wanting to strike when the iron's hot. And I went in really not knowing exactly what to expect. The reviews had been fantastic, but I can never really know until I see it myself. And the movie is hilarious. I'll try and get a review out to you guys later this week, but it might be a little tough. That story comes from TheWrap.com. Horrible Bosses director Seth Gordon is next in line to direct the Uncharted movie. Now, if you don't already know, the Uncharted game series is a very fun and popular action-adventure series published by Sony and created by Naughty Dog. They've had a little bit of trouble pulling together a movie. Short story. The first film, an adaptation of the first game, Drake's Fortune, was supposed to be helmed by David O. Russell, but he left a few years ago to make Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle. Lots of fans are clamoring for Nathan Fillion to play Nathan Drake, but personally I think he's a little too old. I'd like to see the role filled by someone a bit younger. A lot of people are saying that director Seth Gordon isn't the right guy for the job. He directed one video game documentary, The King of Kong, but other than that, his movies have been mostly comedies. And I disagree that he's the wrong man for the job. I think he could possibly be great. Now, I don't love Identity Thief, and I don't love Horrible Bosses. They're not hilarious movies, but Uncharted isn't a hilarious game. It just needs to have the right touches of humor to be appreciated. Now, is he a good action director? That's the big question. The guy's busy. He just got tapped to direct another movie this week. I don't remember the title of it. He's got a lot on his plate, and we probably won't even see this movie until 2016, at least. That story comes from Deadline.com. On February 5th, director Ben Wheatley tweeted that his next film, High Rise, will star Tom Hiddleston. High Rise is an adaptation by author J.G. Ballard. The plot revolves around a high-rise apartment that is so advanced, so self-contained, that everyone within it doesn't even go outside. And when a power grid fails, pretty much all hell breaks loose. For a director like Ben Wheatley, this is a very exciting premise. I've only seen one of his films before, Kill List, but I do know that he has some crazy stuff up his sleeve. His newest film, A Field in England, will be coming out very soon on Drafthouse Films, and it looks trippy. If you want, you can check out his film Kill List. It's on Netflix Instant right now. Variety reports that Evangeline Lilly is up for the lead female role in Ant-Man. Now, no one knows exactly what the role is, but there are a couple of theories and speculations going around. You can probably make your own guess if you are a fan of the comics and you are following the production of this movie. More Marvel casting news from The Hollywood Reporter. Paul Bettany has been cast as the Vision in Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. Now, if the name Paul Bettany sounds familiar to you, it is because he is the voice of Tony Stark's computer, Jarvis. I don't know much about the Vision. All I know is that he is an android. There was some speculation that actor Clark Gregg would play him after his character's death in the first Avengers. At the time, that was a pretty exciting premise to me, but then he was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and his character is probably still the most interesting thing about it, but it's getting a little bit boring. I think that the show is struggling with a lot of storytelling elements that it shouldn't struggle with, frankly. I think Paul Bettany will do a fine job with the role. He's been in some not so good movies, so hopefully this will be a new start for him. Earlier in the week, Film Music Reporter posted that Radiohead guitarist Johnny Greenwood would collaborate with Paul Thomas Anderson once again for Inherent Vice. The film has already wrapped, and Greenwood will be recording music for it this month. I don't know much about the author of Inherent Vice, Thomas Pynchon. I did once try and read The Crying of Lot 49, but it was damn near impossible. Even my mom put it down. And when my mom puts a book down, you know it's serious. Will Smith has turned down returning for Independence Day 2. Roland Emmerich and his writing partner had two versions of the script, one that had Will Smith's character and one that didn't. Obviously, without Smith, it won't be the same movie. Hopefully they can still grab Jeff Goldblum for it. I love Independence Day. I love it for the kind of movie it is. The early 90s, action sci-fi. There's only one Roland Emmerich. Could the film still be salvaged? Of course it can. It will definitely have its opposers, but I still think it can be a success. And now for the final story of the week. Deadline reports that Bong Joon-ho's cut of Snowpiercer will indeed be distributed in the United States. Bong Joon-ho directed this film, The Host. It is a great film. You should go out and find it and watch it immediately. I think it's on Netflix Instant. I wish I had the Blu-ray. He's also directed several other acclaimed films that I have not seen. His newest film, Snowpiercer, is his biggest film yet. It's also Korea's biggest film yet, with a budget of $40 million US. It is also his first English language film. The film is based on a French graphic novel about a train that barrels through an ice-torn, post-apocalyptic world. This is a piece of news that I am elated about. Pretty much, the film is being distributed by the Weinstein Company in the United States, and they are notorious for pretty much cutting the film to be the way that they want it to be. Hearing about the Grandmaster being pretty much chopped to pieces, I was so worried about Snowpiercer. It sounds like a really cool story. I can't wait to see it. But then I heard about Weinstein Company coming in, wanting to change the movie around to make it a little bit more digestible for American audiences. And I just said, no, bad idea. This movie needs to stay intact because it sounds really good and it sounds really important on a political level, on a social level, on several levels. Hearing that the Weinstein Company and the director, Bong Joon-ho, came to a truce is really just music to my ears. Originally, the film was going to be cut and would have received a wide release. Now it will remain intact and will receive what's called a platform release, where it just is rolled out kind of city by city. Who knows if me in measly Louisiana will get it. But I can wait. I'm a patient man. No, I can't. I want to see it now! Don't you want to see Snowpiercer? Don't you think it looks great? Me and him watched The Host together, so I think it's his kind of movie. Yeah, it's not getting cut to smithereens! Okay, you want to get out of my arms. Sorry. Yeah, fuck you too. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. This week in film news is over, and it's been a great week. I can't wait for next week. What did you watch? I watched The Lego Movie and The Monuments Men, one of which you'll get a review of later in the week. As always, you can find me on Letterboxd. You can look at what I've watched recently, you can look at my reviews, you can see my year-end list from the past decade or so. If you're not on Letterboxd already, get on it. It's a great website. Thank you for watching this episode of The Film Feast. Stay tuned for TV dinner and more. My name is Olaf, and I like warm butts.